How are you feeling? Great. So yeah, we are on the southernmost part in the world, right? So a big applause for you. We are here navigating through the Nassau Bay, and before to come back to the Beagle Channel, we are going to stop here. And here is Wulaia located. This is Wulaia, okay? This is the landscape we're going to see. Of course, we cannot guarantee the weather conditions. The Patagonian weather is always changing. Now, what we're going to see once we land on shore, we're going to see at first this beautiful house, which is an information center nowadays, but at the beginning was our old radio station by the Chilean Navy. Okay, it was built on 1930, and it was used by the Chilean Navy until 1955. Then this house were left abandoned, and nowadays we use this house as a little kind of museum. Then one of the things that we're going to see inside this house is this barrel. Do you know what is it? Yeah, of course, it's here. It's a barrel post office. Okay, yes, it's a kind of recreation of the old system that the sailors used to have to communicate themselves for long distance. For example, from Wulaia to Europe. Now, we have an activity for you to recreate this post system. So, did you find your postcards inside your cabin? Yes. Well, the idea is that if you want, of course, you can write a message, okay? And you just have to live inside this barrel. So, same way, then maybe the next trip or maybe the next season, who knows? That's the funny thing about this. Someone else can take a look inside the barrel, and if this person find a postcard with the same address from its area where this person will coming from, they can keep with them and bring back.
We are here. The dolphin's right there. Oh, come out again. Come on, baby. Look how agile they are. Awesome.
She's gonna be your guide.
Catalina.
I'm only here to pick us up.
Evaluate.
Make sure that she's doing good.
She doesn't use any four-letter words.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this map over here. You can come closer. Yeah. Okay, so where are we now? Yeah. We started in Ushuaia, right? So we started over here, and right now we are here in Wulaia Bay, in the Navarino Island. Yeah. So on the west side of Navarino Island. So today in the morning we were all the way down here in Cape Horn, and then we came back the same way. So right now we are here. Yeah. So today, tonight, you might be able to see the lights of Ushuaia again. Ushuaia. So remember that every time that you see a city, it's gonna be Ushuaia all the time. So
That's funny.
Right now we are here in the Navarino Island. What else do we have in this island? We have Puerto Williams. I know that some of you already know about this small town. Very important, yeah. Later on we will tell you why it's so important. Maybe you know about some of the native cultures that we used to have here in Tierra del Fuego, right? We used to have the most important, maybe for today, are gonna be the Yamanas. So they were canoe people who lived in this island, for example. Yeah, they lived in this area. Yeah, and we had 4 other native cultures. They were the Tehuelches. They lived in this area. Yeah, in this whole area, and they were the giants of the Patagonia. Yeah, have you heard about that story?
No.
About the giants? Yeah, they were not really giants. They were just very tall. Yeah, and they were the ones who gave the name to the Patagonia. Why? Because Patagonia is related to the word pata in Spanish, which is like a way to call the feet. Yeah, and when the European came in here, they saw these very big foot marks on the ground. Yeah. So, like in winter, these people, the Tehuelches, they will be using guanaco fur on the foot, like shoes. Yeah. So their feet were big, and they look bigger. Yeah. And also, well, these European people were traveling, and when they came back to Europe, they had to tell an amazing story. Yeah. So they went to Europe and they say, "Oh, we saw giants in Patagonia."
Like when we go fishing.
Yeah, yeah. So those are the Tehuelches. This side, between the Strait of Magellan and this red line in here, we're gonna have one of the most popular cultures, the Selknam or Onas. Yeah, those are the ones with this body painting. Maybe you have seen some images of them. Yeah, before. These are the Selknam. They were one of the most popular cultures, as I said. And then in here, we're gonna have a very similar culture to the Selknam, and those are gonna be the house, yeah, or mannequin. This is gonna be the culture that we know the less about. Why? Because they were the first to disappear. Yeah, they were a small culture. This was their area of distribution. Yeah, so a small place. And then, well, those are gonna be the ones that we have in the north of Tierra del Fuego. Yeah. And here in the south, we're gonna have two different ones. As I said, the Yamana, and in here the Kaweshkar. Yeah, in this remaining space. So those two cultures, they were called nomads of the sea because they were canoe people who will be always navigating. Yeah, moving from one place to another in small canoes. Yeah. For example, the Yamana people, they used to navigate in a 7-meter long canoe, yeah. So for like between 3 or 7 people, yeah, in just a small canoe. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So empezamos a caminar. Okay. So now maybe we can start walking. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's raining a little.
A little bit.
Yeah. Also. Yes.
Do you have those maps in the boat?
Yes. On the shop. Yeah. So in here, for example, you have the picture, as I was saying. These are gonna be the Selknam. Yeah. These are very famous body painting. Yep. This is they all have different meanings. Yeah. They are the gods that they have, and they were gonna use this body painting for the center. There's ritual that they had, which was called the tea house. Yeah. And in here, you have a picture of the Yamana people. Yeah. Very distinctive because, as you can see, they were completely naked. Yeah. So, well, right now we have a little bit of rain. But still, it's not that cold, yeah? And you are wearing how many layers of clothes? I'm wearing like 4 layers.
Too many.
Yeah, so imagine what it will be like to live in here in winter and completely naked. Yeah? But they have a reason to be naked in this area. Can you think about the reason? They were canoe people, always navigating.
Always wet, yeah.
Always getting wet, yeah.
Wet
So if they have been wearing clothes in here, they will have been wet all the time, and they will have get
It would be worse.
That's how they
yeah?
died, right? That's what the guy told
Yes,
us.
yeah, in a way, yeah.
And they used to cover their bodies with
The fat.
the fat from...
Yes, so they will have like a waterproof layer So they will use the fat of the sea lion. Yeah. So they will be able to. They wouldn't get too cold. Yeah. Also, very interesting is that in the canoes they will always have a small fire in the center of the canoe. Yeah.
How come it didn't burn the canoe?
Sorry.
How didn't burn the canoe?
Because they will make this like a layer of sand, rocks,
okay.
and mussels.
sense.
The
Yeah.
shells,
Yeah.
mussel shells. Yeah. So it was like a fire resistant
Like a
layer
base.
in the
Yeah.
center of the canoe, and then they will make this fire. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was great.
Let's go now. We disembark here twice per week, yeah? So when we go from Punta Arenas to Ushuaia, we disembark here, and also when we go from Ushuaia to Punta Arenas, yeah? So twice per week. Why is it so important? In this bay, we have like material remainings from 3 very important historical moments for this place, yeah? 3 different moments where we have 3 different group of human beings living in here. Yeah. So you already know about the Yamanas. Yeah, the Yamana people who were the natives who used to live in here. What are the remainings of these people? In here we have more than 600 archaeological sites. So that means that buried in all this place we have like remainings from them. Yeah. Mostly seashells, because they used to eat mussels in here, yeah, shells. So they used to eat mussels in here, and they wouldn't throw the shells back to the sea, yeah, because they have like this conception that it will bring like bad luck for them if they did that. So they will keep them in here, yeah. So they were gonna be like accumulating each time, and now they are all buried. Yeah, and also we have like some tools that they used to make, yeah, back in their time. So that's one group of people. Then we have the family who came to live here from Europe. They were from Croatia.
Oh,
That's the word.
wow.
Yeah. So that's from them. We have on the left side of the house, yeah, the radio station. We have. What's the name? Sheep dips.
Sheep dip.
Sheep dips. Yeah, we have one of
they've
those.
sheared the sheep?
Where they will bring the sheep to clean them, to clean the wool.
The wool.
The wool. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So that's the second group of people that we had in here, and then finally we have the house. Yeah. That marks the presence of this the Chilean Navy, the people who came here to build this radio station in 1930, and they used it as a radio station until the 60s approximately, yeah. And nowadays we use the house as an information center, yeah, small information center. And there's another reason why this place is so important, yeah, because in here Fitz Roy, yeah, during his navigation he disembarked here twice, and on the second time he came here also with Charles Darwin. It's a very important place. Maybe you are stepping right now on the same place where Darwin stepped on his first and only navigation. Yeah. So in 1826, Fitzroy came here in his first navigation, but this didn't start with Fitzroy as a captain, right? Because this navigation started with the captain Pringle Stokes. Yeah. But and why? Why did this? What did they come here? They came here because they needed to make more nautical charts about the area. Yeah, because this was kind of like a mystery line. Yeah, mystery land. Sorry, it wasn't very well explored. So they wanted to make more nautical charts from the area, and they came here to do that. Yeah, but what happened with Pringle Stokes? Sir? What happened with him? So when he arrived to Tierra del Fuego, approximately 2 years after he started the navigation, he realized that most of his work was wrong.
Yeah.
So that was very, very shocking for him. And also well, that's one factor. And then he came here, and it was winter time. Yeah, so the landscape wasn't very nice, and living here was pretty rough. So all these things together made him. He got really depressed. Yeah, he got really depressed because all of that. And then he finally he killed himself in his cabin in the Beagle. The Beagle was one of the. There were two vessels. One was the Beagle, and the other one was the Adventure. Yeah. So Pringle Stokes shot himself in his cabin in the Beagle. Yeah. Yeah. So after that, of course, the navigation had to continue, and there had to be a captain. Yeah. So that's when Fitz Roy took like the control of the navigation, and he became the captain. And he arrived here to Wulaia Bay. Yeah. You're making me nervous.
No, he's admiring you. You're doing a great job.
Where I can't see you. Okay, so Fitzroy came here on his first navigation, as I said, and in here he encountered the natives, yeah, so the Yamana people and also the Kaweshkar, who were the other canoe people, yeah, the other ones. We have two of them in the south of Tierra del Fuego, the Kaweshkar and the Yamana. So he encountered these people, and there was some kind of conflict between them, yeah, because we have to think that the natives in here, they didn't have this conception of like private property, yeah, they were used to take what they found. Whenever they needed something, they would just take it, yeah. So what happened is that they took one of the boats, yeah. Yes. Well, yeah.
That looks nice.
Yeah. They did it, and Fitzroy wasn't very happy about that. And in return, well, it's one of the theories, yeah. So people say that in return, he decided to take four native children from here. They were 3 Kaweshkar and 1 Yamana. The 3 Kaweshkar were one little girl, Fuegia Basket, then George Minster, and boat memory because of the boat. Yeah? And the 1 Yamana, probably the most popular one, was Jimmy Button. Yeah, he was the only Yamana one. Of course, these names were given to them by these English people. They were not their original names. Yeah. So they took these 4 children. Some people say that it was like revenge, but other people say it's more like an experiment. Yeah. So they take these 4 children to England. Yeah. And Fitzroy he decided to pay for their education, for the education of these children. Yeah. So they learned English in England. And then after like 1.5 years, they came back here, yeah? Fitzroy came back here, and he decided to take these children with him, so they will help the priest that came with this navigation. And he was Richard Matthews, yeah? So the children were supposed to help him doing this missionary work, and work like as translators for them, yeah? So he could communicate with the natives who were in here. So what happened with this priest Richard Matthews was that they got him in here for 10 days. Yeah. After 10 days, Fitzroy was supposed to come back for him in here, and he left him in the island with this with the 3 natives. Yeah, because one of the children. He died, yeah, in England. He was boat memory, yeah. So he couldn't come back here, yeah, because he died in England. So he took his 3 remaining children in here to help the priest. But what happened was that the 2 Kaweshkar, Fuegia Basket and George Minster, they didn't want to help the priest. when they came back here. Yeah, and Jimmy Button, he was a little bit different because he had like a more positive position about this new lifestyle. Yeah, and he actually wanted to help the priest at first, but when he came here, he met with his mom again, with his mother. Yeah, but the thing is that his mother didn't recognize him because he was all changed. He was wearing clothes. He got a haircut. He was completely different. Yeah. So after that, he realized that this new lifestyle wasn't really for them. Yeah, they were not meant to change the way they lived. They used to live in here. Yeah, because they had lived in here for many years, and there was no reason for them to change. Yeah. So he also refused to help this priest, and the priest was in here pretty much abandoned. And then, well, after the 10 days passed, Fitzroy came back for him as promised, but this mission was just like a complete failure. Yeah. So, and also, well, in this second navigation, this second expedition, as I said, Fitzroy came also in here with Darwin. Yeah, so in here Darwin also encountered these the Yamana people, but it wasn't the first time that he had met with these people, because he met these 3 children back in Europe. Yeah, he met these 3 native children. Yeah, but it was a completely different situation. As you know, these people in England, they were completely different as how they were living in here. Yeah, so still, when he came here, it was really shocking for him to see this kind of wild people living in here with no clothes, yeah, all dirty and with a mess of a hair, yeah. So it was really shocking for him. But still, this expedition was very important for the following theories that he developed, yeah. So very, very important place, historical place, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Yay. Awesome job.
What happened to the children, or does anybody know? They just went back to their tribal ways?
Wulaia Basket and George Minster, they just left, right?
Wulaia Basket and George Minster, when they first arrived here, the first thing what they did with the natives is that they're gonna disembark and they're gonna marry Wulaia Basket with George Minster to say, look, this is the proper way, you know, to get married under God. Now, just like Catalina was saying, another problem is that the idea was always this project, this idea was to convert. Remember, at the time of history and life, converting was the main goal of everybody. Like, you come in because we gotta have this post-Victorian way of looking at life, that we are the center of the world. At the time in Europe, we were the center of the world. The outside of that, pretty much, it was nothing. Nobody was human, pretty much. Many times, I don't like to go into sections, but many times they were called people with no souls. So what that means, they were not humans either. So when they get here, right, then when they did the marriage and everything, Fitzroy and Darwin is gonna move out. They're gonna go doing more exploring, for doing more charts. And then when, just like Catalina was saying, what they never thought it was that, let's say, Jimmy Button's mother was here. You gotta understand, this is a big clash, right? You haven't seen, imagine yourself now. You're in your home, resting, somebody comes to your house. You go, you open the door, and you see somebody completely naked, with full of fat, okay, smelling weird. And then when you notice under all the scrubby hair, that is your son, what he was gonna say after you haven't seen your son for the last 3 years? It's like, whoa, what's wrong with you? Let's go to the doctor. Right? Most likely that's what you're gonna do. Just that, imagine that backwards. Okay, with the Jimmy Button. So he was rejected. And compared to the other native tribes, let's say from the land base, like Catalina was saying, the land base, the giants, right? They built clans from, which are called Hadawan, from 80 members to 120 members. Over here, for these native canoe people, a little bit different. We're more family based. A canoe is gonna carry your family, 6 members to 8 members. Then you're gonna have, let's say, your family in the hut. When they're land based, another, let's say, 40 meters away, there's gonna be another small family. 40 meters away, another small family. They were together, but not together, right? Always moving around family. So everything about family was too important for them. So when he was rejected by his mother, it was like, whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
big blow.
No. So then that's when they're gonna decide to remove their clothes, right? Not willing to help out to change their families,
Yeah.
right? Then what they're gonna do when they see the priest, right? The priest is gonna be looking at like to them, like you're looking at me now, wearing these long robes, nice long hair, nice long beard, like everybody loved to wear at the time. They're gonna do is, hey, you need to become, this is Yamana, we need to go do as Yamana do. So they're gonna try, they're gonna go to him, try to remove his clothes, and you're a priest. No. I cannot be naked, right? Then what they're gonna do? This long beard. The Yamana didn't like to wear beard, so what they're gonna try to do? They're gonna shave him off. What do you think they're gonna be using to shave you off? Huh? No. Shells.
Shells, yeah.
Okay, imagine yourself. Like I said, there's no Gillette. So they're gonna try to cut you with this to clean you off. So when the Beagle came back after 10 days, it says among depending on the source you read, that the priest Matthew was running, right? It's like help! They're trying to eat me, right? Now, like Catalina was saying, Darwin was important because he was able to see and witness the changes of these humans around here, right? From becoming, let's say, from they met the kids in England, they were already educated, clothing, but you get here, they're completely naked, live in this hostile environment, which is not easy. Okay, or when you saw the indigenous tribe on the other side with their tongue, these were short, different way of lifestyles. Okay, so there's theory says that all what Darwin thought and think about his theory pretty much was built and made in Patagonia, but he's gonna be spending about 3 years in Patagonia. You know how long he spent in Galapagos? How many?
6 weeks.
Not even 2 months. So, but everything just click over there. You gotta understand, this entire journey was really important for him because he saw from the big armadillos to the indigenous in Galapagos. Everything was important for him. So
I think you covered some of it in there.
yeah. Or the children forget basket and George Mister's gonna stay and they're gonna move to another place, right? They were married. They end up getting married. Okay. Jimmy Button. Okay. There's gonna be an island. You see our vessel?
Uh-huh.
Behind that, there's an island over there, right?
Yeah.
That island is called Jimmy's Island.
Oh.
That's when Jimmy Button is gonna spend the rest of his life. He's gonna become the link between the indigenous and the Europeans coming here. Okay. Let's say what else about them?
The boy that passed away in England, what did he pass away from?
When he arrived to England, he's gonna die because of chickenpox in Plymouth. Okay, actually, for Fitz Roy, it was really a sad thing because he was supposed to be the brightest one out of the 4 kids. So when he passed away, he was really sad about it. Let's say over here, what else? When everything, when Darwin and everything, these kids, they left because this project didn't work out. They're gonna end up meeting again on the other side in the Beagle 1 year later. Okay, Jimmy Button's gonna close. He's gonna get on board. when he gets on board, the first thing he's gonna do, because he was naked, even though he already went back wild, right? He's gonna get shy. He's gonna cover himself because, his mentality already changed. Have you heard the word fake news?
Yeah. No, I never heard that word.
You never?
We wish.
All right, I would say that it was kind of invented in Patagonia, in Tierra del Fuego. Why? Because in the 1880s, like I was saying, we had a gold rush. But of course, this gold rush was like this big only. Okay, it was actually not important. But at the time, Chile, Argentina, they needed to establish their boundaries, their section of landmass. So the only way to do this is that you must have people living here from your country. But nobody wants to come here and live in this no man's land. So we're gonna start doing these countries. We're gonna start saying, come to Tierra del Fuego, come to Tierra del Fuego.
There's gold here.
There's a lot of gold. And if you come, a part of the gold, we're gonna give you free land. Whoa, not a bad idea. I can get gold, and they're gonna give me free land. Oh, I'm going. So, which it was true. And people start coming from Europe, from North America. They start settling down in the Beagle and the sections. They started opening up their stanza with the little bit of gold they were able to find. But of course, nothing in life is for free. What we're asking for actually was something really important for you. Maybe you're gonna have in your lifetime 1 or 2, 3 children. Exactly. We're asking for your children. In which way? Not that you must give your children to us, but your children must become Chileans or Argentinians. This way we're gonna start saying we have Chilean people living here. Like I was saying, these people over here, the stanza, which they stay about 60 years over here. Trust me, it was not easy because living over here was so far away from Punta Arenas. Like if you had emergency at the time, you have to go by boat to Punta Arenas. It's gonna take you at least 3 to 5 days. Okay, or if you with the wool they get, because of the sheep and everything. If you take it to Wulaia, which is gonna be Argentina at the time, but still Argentina. Okay. You gotta pay imports, taxes. So at the end of the day, not that much money left. But they stay here, they work really hard. But at the end of the day, decided to move back to Punta Arenas. And actually, they're quite wealthy family now. The Farsolowich, they're now in the transportation business. And same way, because of that, in 1930s, 1940s, we almost go to war to Argentina, like for the 5th time. Okay. Because some islands around here, about 3 of them, which are like that way. So what it used to do is that we used to, Chilean government used to hide their vessels on that section, and they used to point it towards to Ushuaia. Mm-hmm. That's why they have these Navy base over here, like it's to coordinate all that and everything. But at the end of the day, we never went to war. So good. That's good. Right.
We were talking about this is like so different. What is that? All that stuff.
This is called diddle-dee. It's a type of creeping bush. It's gonna bear fruits. This is called calafate.
Oh, that's the calafate.
Yeah, this is calafate.
Oh my gosh.
This is a type of lichen which you call Osman's beard.
Wow, awesome.
And this is called pigwood. Okay.
That's the Fitzroy path. And we're going now to the visitor.
The path that we're doing, the trails that we're going to be doing, they were described by Fitzroy and Darwin, in his journals.
Wow.
So
we are actually following their footsteps.
Exactly. So the path, let's say the lookouts, they're going to be the lookouts they use for the sharks. So we just, like we're saying,
following that. Following their footsteps. Amazing.
Yeah, normally we could see this, but right now it's a little bit late, so it's difficult to see so many of these birds. But let's say we have a lot of this one. This house wren they're flying all over the place. But yeah, we could see all this and many more.
You've seen them?
Yeah, we do. Like I said,
you're so lucky. You come here so often. How many times have you been here?
Oof, I don't know. I've been here for almost 5 years. So I do this there alone many times.
You still enjoy it?
Yeah, actually I like it a lot.
It's lovely here.
It's really
The
nice.
air is so fresh.
You gotta understand it's really peaceful. There's no, traffic jams running here.
You hit the nail on the head, exactly.
Huh?
Exactly. When I go home in a few days, that's what I'm going to have to face.
It says that the plate says to Charles Darwin, 1809 to 1882. Of course, when he was born and died, and it says that he disembarked in this bay, Wulaia, on the January 23rd of 1833.
Wow. Interesting.
There is a replica of a hut over here. This replica, which you would like to do,
Oh, there you go.
You would just lift them up and look
Yeah,
at them?
they are. We have some folders. Yeah, they are separated because of
by country.
by country. Yeah,
So beautiful here.
it's really nice.
Wow.
And also the thing is that it's her second trip. He came from Punta Arenas to Ushuaia, and now she's coming back. So she was here
how
already.
nice.
Yeah. And she knows.
Good for her.
She knows the way.
She knows the way. It must be beautiful. There is a river. I can hear the river. And it's a little hike to go to the river. I don't have enough time. She's going to give me a recap.
Okay, so what we have in here is a Yamana hut. Yeah? So this is where these people will stay during the night and when they were on land. Yeah? So most of the time they will be navigating. They were going to be stopping in different places. But they will never get too far away. Yeah. So they had this area of distribution, the one that I showed you on the map. Yeah, you saw that. So they were not gonna go too far away from there. Yeah. But they were always gonna be moving from place to place, from different sides. Yeah. So
Must have been so cold in the winter.
this must have been very, very cold. Yeah. So imagine this is a summer day.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the middle of summer. So imagine how it will be in the middle of winter.
Oh my God.
You're completely naked also.
How
Yeah.
many people would be in a hut?
Just like the same as in the canoes, from until 8 people at the most. Yeah, because they had this. They were like very well divided in families. Yeah, so families were like the center of the society. Yeah,
Were they small people?
they were very small. Yeah,
Yeah.
and also as they were most of the time in these canoes, and they were always in this position. They had very weak legs, and they had like malformation, deformation.
Oh. Malformation, yeah.
on the knees. Yeah,
Oh.
so they were not able to run very fast.
Wow.
Yeah, and well, they were very small compared to, for example, the Welches. Yeah, the Patagonians, who were very tall. So yeah, they were
Interesting.
small people. Yeah. Also, this is just recreation. Yeah, it's
Of
not
course.
smaller than it should be.
Yeah.
Very important, very interesting thing about this is, for example, they were able to change the entrance of the hut depending on the wind. So, for example, if the wind was coming in this direction, they will just close this side of the hut, and they will make a new opening on the other side. Yeah.
Oh,
So that
that's
shows
interesting.
how flexible these people were. Yeah. So they were able to adapt to any climate factor that they had.
So
yeah?
the construction of the hut took into consideration that you might need to take a chunk off. It was like constructed this way,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So as you can see, it's just branches of trees. The tree that they are gonna use is the evergreen. Yeah, very important tree for them because they are gonna also use this one to make the canoes. Yeah, the canoes were made of evergreen's bark. Yeah, very important tree for them.
Thank you so much.
You're
I-
welcome.
So, are these aren't evergreens there, are they?
I cannot really tell because I will have to see the leaf.
Yeah, right.
So in Tierra del Fuego we have a main type of tree, a main family of trees. That is going to be the Nothofagus tree. Yeah, and here we have 3 different species: the evergreen, the low deciduous beech, and the high deciduous beech. Yeah, and they are all very similar, but you can distinguish them because of the leaf.
Yeah,
the
you have
shape
to
of
look
the leaf.
close, right? Yeah.
And also in winter it's easier because it's easier to recognize the evergreen because it's
Yeah.
the only one that is
Still green.
still green. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
Oh.
yeah.
So, in this picture over here,
yeah.
either she's pregnant or she has poor nutrition. This
Yeah.
one here, is she? Do you know? Obviously you don't know.
Yeah, because
But I
Yeah.
mean, it could be.
it could be malnutrition.
And
yeah.
I can see the knees. I can definitely see the knees too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see they have a weird shape.
Interesting. And
And another very interesting thing in here is that, as you can see, they are already wearing clothes.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, they are, aren't they?
They are supposed to be naked. But this is well, someone took this picture, and of course that was
Maybe they told them to dress up a little.
yeah,
boy.
yeah. So that is what is gonna start happening with these missionaries coming here, these priests. They're gonna start telling these people how to behave,
Yeah.
to wear clothes, and that
Impose
men and
their
women
own-
should be
yeah.
separated.
Yeah.
That's a very important factor to the disappearance of this culture. Yeah.
They totally disappeared, right? There are no.
The Yamana people, we still have one remaining woman living in Puerto Williams. That's why Puerto Williams is so important. She is Cristina Calderon. She's like 95 years old. Yeah, so
She's the last one?
she's the last pure blood Yamana person in the world. Yeah, because she had children. She had children, but with like a Chilean man, and you know, Chilean
Yeah.
people are like a mix of different things.
Yeah.
And well, she had children and grandchildren, but they are not pure blood
yeah.
Yamana people.
Yeah.
So in Puerto Williams we have a lot of descendants from the Yamana. A lot of them, most of them actually live in this town, but she is the only remaining one. Yeah, pure blood.
Pure blood.
And also it's very interesting because when she was a kid, she actually used to live like a Yamana. Yeah, she lived in these canoes. She was naked. Yeah, and she can speak the Yamana language fluently.
Wow.
The only one. Yeah, and she's trying to teach her grandchildren, especially, this language. But of course, it's not
Yeah.
the same.
They don't
Yeah,
want
it's not the same.
Yeah, and all this knowledge and this culture that
It's
she
gonna
has,
die with her.
it's gonna die with her.
Wow.
Yeah?
Wow.
Most of it, at least.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do we stop in Port Williams or do we just go by?
No, we don't go by.
Oh, we don't.
No.
Okay.
No.
So how do they get supplies, or do they hunt and fish?
The Yamana people,
Uh-huh.
yeah, they are gonna hunt and they are gonna get these mussels. Yeah.
I mean, even now,
No.
a woman who lives in
oh
Port
no,
Williams.
nowadays no,
Uh-huh.
they live
Like normal, like
people,
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They live from fishing, but right now it's not a very good time for them because we have this
Red tide.
red
Tide.
Red
tide.
tide.
We have red
Yeah.
tide, so I think like for many months they haven't been able to work in this in the fishing industry. And they also live because tourism is an important industry as well in Puerto Williams. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
cool.
it's a very kind of poor town.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Not gonna pass.
She's coming back.
Puerto Williams.
Wow, that is so interesting. I have learned so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for saying it twice.
Yeah, don't worry.
Wow, you're very, very
Now
sweet.
I
Come on, baby. It is so cute. It's so tiny. It is cute, right? I'm weird. I like little things.
Yeah, I like little things as well. People always make fun of that because they say that because I'm little, I like things that are tiny as well.
No, you know what? The wonder in life is not only in the big things.
Yeah.
The wonder in life is in everything. How was the river?
It was very pretty.
It was, right? Worth it, huh?
There's a nice little stream there on the bridge.
Let's go and check out the postcards. And this is where you're supposed to put yours. I didn't bring mine. A message in a bottle. Kinda. I checked to see if there were any from Greece, but there were not. Maybe where they got postcards from? These are the kids.
These are the children.
Yeah.
What year is this house?
Sorry?
This house was built in what year?
Wow.
1930. Yeah.
This is Jimmy Batten. This is the one that kind of got assimilated more, right?
Oh, Jemmy Button.
Jimmy, yeah.
And they named them themselves, right?
Yeah.
This is smaller than the real one, right? This is a replica, but it's much smaller, right?
Like much smaller.
Much smaller. They used to be much bigger, right?
Yeah, they were like 7 meters long.
7 meters.
She was, as you can see here, she was a girl.
And so they all came back here and came back to their...
Yes,
Yeah.
especially Jimmy Button. Yeah, he has many books. His story is
Quite
really
famous?
popular. Quite famous.
And
Yeah.
that's very... The Wulaia?
Yeah.
Spelled differently.
Yeah, it's spelled differently. Yeah. It's spelled in many different ways.
Yes.
As it's
Oh.
yeah,
Spelling.
well, no real spelling, yeah, because they didn't have they didn't have alphabet
Written
writing.
language,
Yeah.
right.
What does it mean?
Wulaia means a beautiful bay.
Oh, it is
So it's an
beautiful.
appropriate name, yeah.
Yeah, very.
And
It's
you also
beautiful.
have Ushuaia, it has the same ending.
Yeah.
It's this aya, that's what means bay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Ushuaia means like deep bay, something like that.
Okay.
Oh, so this is a ceremonial mask.
No.
More masks. Oh, interesting. Look at this one. Red. It is so beautiful and so peaceful. Deep breath. Lots of oxygen. And look at this. We have hot chocolate waiting for us. Spiked hot chocolate. With red label. Ah, see, he knows.
Muchas gracias.
Hi.
Pero.
Pero
Chocolate.
Yeah, so in here we have pigs.
pigs.
Yeah.
Ah,
We have wild pigs.
Whiskey.
wild pig. Okay. And our chariots are here to pick us up. I can smell the sea. It smells beautiful. So fresh. That's one of the best things, and I cannot capture it on video. Look at all the seashells. I think that's a jellyfish. Wouldn't it be nice if dolphins came out? They were here before. Look how beautiful and calm. Oh, we're saying goodbye to this beautiful place. Dolphins? Dolphines? No? Before? Come on, babies. fishing. That's an anchor. Oh, one anchor only. Interesting. I think he's giving me a tour of the boat. Here we are home.
Good evening, dear guests. We inform you that we are now navigating through the Murray Channel, once known as Yagashaga by the ancient inhabitants of this region, the Yamana. We will continue our navigation towards the Beagle Channel. Both of these channels, Beagle and Murray, were discovered by Robert Fitzroy's expedition in 1830. Now we invite you to the dinner, which is being served at the Patagonia dining room, located on the first deck.
Already here.
Thank you. Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs.
Look at that tender Lord, how tender it is.
She remarried?
Someone's birthday.
Muy bien. La cuenta de 3, entonces. 1, 2 y 3. 1, 2, 3. Muchísimas gracias. What a way and what a place to celebrate the birthday, ¿ya? Ya qué forma de celebrar.